Good morning everybody. Today we're going to be discussing communication systems. Communication is a very important aspect of any civilization. Information is passed on from one generation to the other through communication. The earliest form of communication could have just been through signals and body language. As human beings evolved, they developed the characteristic of speech. With this, they could communicate with one another. As the civilization evolved further, people started developing and using written script to preserve information and to communicate with one another. With the advances in science and technology, new modes of communication were invented and effectively used. There was a time when a piece of information written on a postcard or a letter took about 7 days to reach the destination. Today, you can just convey the same message by just 7 seconds. There was a time when you had to book an STD call to talk to your relative or friend living far away in a different state. Nowadays, all you have to do is just call them over your cell phone. Even if your friends are in a different country, you can communicate with them in no time through the internet or through the telephone. The advances in communication system help us to receive news from distant parts of the world almost instantaneously. Television and internet have revolutionized the entertainment, news and educational fields. Over the internet, any information can be obtained with a click of a mouse. People nowadays use the internet not only for communication and information, but also for shopping, banking, booking tickets, etc. Advances in communication system provide great advantages such as early warning mechanism in natural disasters such as the tsunami or flash floods, etc. Advances in communication system have helped large sections of society to receive information. This helps in educating people spread over large areas. This CD that you are watching is also a result of advances in communication systems. We are so dependent on these systems that we cannot imagine how our lives would be without the services of TV, radio, newspaper, internet and telephones. In this chapter, we will learn about the fundamentals of communication systems. In any kind of communication through any means, three basic elements are involved: the transmitter, the medium or the channel, and the receiver. The block diagram involving these basic elements and the direction of the flow of information is shown in this diagram. As you can see in this block diagram, a source of information forms the starting point of a communication system. This source of information generates message signals. The message signals are then transmitted through a transmitter. The transmitted signals propagate from one point to the other through a channel. Noise may enter the signals during their transmission. These signals are received by the receiver. The receiver converts the electromagnetic signals back to retrieve the information which reaches the end user. In a communication system, the transmitter and receiver are separated by a certain distance. This distance can be as small as a few meters and also as large as a few thousand kilometers. The channel is the medium that connects the transmitter and the receiver. The choice of the medium or the channel depends on the kind of medium to be transmitted and the distance over which it is to be transmitted. The choice of medium also depends on the number of receivers for which the information is being transmitted. Based on all these factors, the channel may consist of wired network or wireless network. A network may be designed for one-to-one communication, such as the case of telephone, or one-to-many in the case of a television. The purpose of the transmitter is to convert the message signal produced by the source of the information into a form which is suitable for transmission through a channel. Once the information is transmitted by the transmitter, it propagates from the transmitter through a particular channel or medium and reaches the receiver. The receiver receives the signal through the channel and reconstructs the signal to obtain the information. Before we proceed further with the discussion of communication systems, we need to understand certain terms that are frequently used in this field. Let us understand these important terms first. The transducer. It is a device that converts one form of energy into another. The audio microphone is one example of a transducer. It converts the sound waves into electrical pulses. Signal. Information which is converted into electrical form for suitable transmissions is called as a signal. Noise. Noise refers to the unwanted signals that tend to interfere with the original signal and disturb the process of transmission and processing of an original signal. Noise can arise at the source or during the process of transmission. Transmitter. It is a device that transmits the signal obtained from a transducer. For the purpose of transmission, the transmitter modifies the signal to a set of frequency range depending on the mode of transmission. Receiver. The receiver receives the signal from the channel and converts the signal back to information. Attenuation. The loss of strength of a signal as it propagates through the channel is called as attenuation. Amplification. The process of increasing the amplitude of the strength of the signal using proper electronic circuit is called as amplification. The process of amplification is to overcome the attenuation of the signals so that they can be transmitted over larger distances. Range. The largest distance between the transmitter and the receiver up to which the signal can be transmitted with sufficient strength in the signal is called as the range.